All right, we are live and on air. I'm going to post a reminder in the chat and say press play to start watching. Uh, so, quick introduction. My name is Josh Ledgard. I'm one of the founders of Kickoff Labs. For those of you that don't know, we make lead generation extremely easy with a combination of landing pages and opt-in forms. We have the unique proposition that we can turn any opt-in form or form you have into a viral opt-in form and get you 35% more leads. I mention this not just as an advertisement for Kickoff Labs, but also as an introduction to this topic. And so we've noticed we've had a lot of customers setting up campaigns and pages with our service in preparation for a launch of a Kickstarter or Indiegogo or you name it, basically a crowdfunding campaign. And there's lots of reasons that you would do this, and I don't want to steal the show away. But we figured it would be best to do a webinar and have some materials out there for people that are doing this that wanted to follow the best practices around it, and the fact that we can help make your start to this campaign a little bit more viral and start gaming it from the beginning, the same way that they can game things with rewards once you start getting donations, is a key reason why a lot of people choose our product as a way to launch these Kickstarter and other crowdfunding campaigns. So for today, I'm going to hand off the webinar to Izzy, who is our marketing guru here at Kickoff Labs. He's been looking at some of the best practices from our customers, been doing a lot of research on crowdfunding and what works and what doesn't work for folks. And he's just got a wealth of knowledge that he's put together in some great slides in the presentation. I'll say this is a live chat. The reason we do these live is because it's useful to field questions. I see there's about 8 people online that could be sending in questions. So don't hesitate to introduce yourself on the live chat, sign into the chat widget below the video, and post questions, because we love to take questions. We intentionally space these out so that there's enough time during to get through the presentation and to take lots of questions and go off in a direction that you'd like. So that being said, start thinking about your questions. I'm going to hand it off to Izzy, who's going to do an amazing job today.
Hi everybody, and welcome to today's webinar. As Josh mentioned, I'm Izzy, and I do conversion rate optimization, marketing, growth, all kinds of cool and fun stuff here at Kickoff Labs. And today we're going to be talking about how you can practically guarantee your crowdfunding success and how to properly kick off your Kickstarter campaign. And I'm going to be sharing my screen with you because I have some slides that I prepared. Some really nice slides here, so just let me make sure that it's being shared with you. Josh, if you could confirm with me if you're seeing my screen.
Right now I see black on your side, so you might want to try a different screen or try again to start the sharing.
No problem, that happens sometimes.
There you go.
Alrighty, so we should be seeing my screen now. Now I have some notes for me here, so it's hard for me to present and to read my notes. So we'll just keep it simple. We'll put this into full screen and we'll get rid of this stuff here. So it's kind of like easily laid out for you guys to see. Pay attention to the slides over here. So we're talking about how you can kick off your Kickstarter campaign and garner a huge following in the process. Why would you want to do this? Well, obviously you want to guarantee the fact that your project is going to be funded. You want to have tons of potential backers. You want to have tons of people visiting your page once you've officially launched. But what if you don't have any people, to send to the page, to send to your crowdfunding campaign in the early days? What can you do? So we're going to be going over some strategies that are actually meant to be taken as steps before the official crowdfunding campaign. So the 5 steps that we're going to be talking about, it's basically meant for you to do this before you actually launch the campaign. Do this with some months in advance. So let's get into it, and I'll start switching over to my next slide. The first thing you're going to want to do, you're going to want to rally your pre-funding following. So you're going to want to get people to learn about your campaign. You're going to want to get people signing up for your campaign, and you just want to garner interest, basically. The way to do that is building a buzz online. I mean, that's basically the only way that you're going to be able to do it. If your plan is to launch a crowdfunding campaign and to just get away with pure word of mouth, no online marketing, nothing like that, it's going to be really, really hard. So you do need that online presence. What kind of online presence do you need, though? Well, our recommendation, and I'm not just saying it because that's our specialty, because Kickoff Labs offers landing pages as part of our platform. You really need a great landing page. That's really effective at that's effective at converting people, and that gets people sharing with their friends. And that's really going to be the primary driver for all of your pre-funding campaigning. You want to get people visiting your landing page, signing up on your landing page, leaving an email on your landing page. So it's extremely important to get one built. Luckily, with the Kickoff Labs platform, we make it extremely fast and easy for you to get a great-looking landing page up. You can obviously use any other landing page provider, but obviously, since we're providing you with these awesome tips, we'd love for you to come back and bring us some of your business. Okay, so once you have your landing page up, you're going to want to, well, actually, I should have switched these two up. Where you want to, first you want to get in touch with your friends and family. You want to make sure that you reach your primary social network, people that you have contact with, friends, family, relatives, anyone that you might have any kind of close relationship with. Those are the people that are really going to be backing your campaign. Those are people who care about your success, and those are the people that are going to be potential backers and who are actually going to, those are people who you can count on to contribute on your campaign. And you want to think about cultivating long-term relationships as well. So what I mean by that, basically, you want to start off on the right foot, basically. The best way that I can put this for you guys is to work on your communication skills. From day one, you want your brand to have a strong, coherent voice. Okay, you don't want to sound like some Nigerian crowdfunding scam artist. You need to be smart about how you comment, how you talk to people, and how you respond to people. So think about those long-term relationships. Don't be spammy when you're talking to people. Just keep things simple, keep things honest, and that way you'll be able to cultivate those good relationships for potential backers to support you in the future.
And I want to jump in, Izzy, and say I think this is really important to think about. One of the things that I take away from this slide is you want to think about starting from your center of your circle of trust and then branching out from there. Perfect. And so as you're developing your message and you're developing what you think is going to be important to put in your video and your funding for your pitch, starting with that network of people who you've trusted, who you've shared the idea with, and showing them the landing page and saying, this is our pitch, what do you think about it, as like that first round of people, because they're people that you trust that you can get feedback from, because you don't want to go out and launch your asking for money without having that level of review, that first set of people bought off. And once you get that center of trust, that center part of it, those people can become the core of your campaign to help you get the word out as you go through the next steps.
Exactly. Those are the people whose audience you will be leveraging later on. So very, very true, Josh. Next up, we're talking about the power of email. So the early goal with building a great landing page, having that landing page, sending your friends and family, your circle of trust to that first landing page, is to get the email address. Okay, this is something that obviously you'll be asking for later on from new subscribers, but the early goal now is getting people's email address. Don't worry about placing other form fields for name, location, or any other information that can hurt your um, conversion rates. You want to keep things as basic as possible. So give people an easy option to sign up. Only include the email form. That's our recommendation. And especially, I mean, if you're using Kickoff Labs, you're already getting some great information in the back end, in your dashboard, in your reports. We provide lead data for you. So basically, all somebody needs to provide is their email address, and we'll give you their social profile information, their full name, their demographics, if they're publicly available. But we'll grab all kinds of juicy information for you, and that's information that you shouldn't be asking for, because that's going to hurt your conversion rate. And like I said, right now you want to focus on getting as many people signing up as possible. Before I move on here, Josh, do you have any more comments for rallying your pre-funding following?
No, I think you covered it. And what I was saying is it's really about, this is your initial test, right? And the only thing I would add is that when you're doing this, you want to be asking people for their email address, and you certainly can't be shy about it, because you're going to soon be asking people for actual money. So if you're shy about asking for an email address and being aggressive about it, you'll have problems getting them to give you to give you money in the end. And that when you're asking for an email address on these pages, you should think about a successful rate. And so I don't know if you were going to mention this in one of your talking points later, but imagine that you collect 1,000 email addresses, and then imagine that you think that you can get maybe 5% of those 1,000 email addresses to contribute money down the road. That kind of gives you an effect. Depending upon how much money you need to raise, you can work backwards from those numbers and imagine that, wow, I don't need 1,000 email addresses for the amount of money I'm trying to raise. I need 10,000. So you want to think about that number working backwards, and then you want to think about when you're on that page, what a good conversion rate is. So how many visitors you need to get to your page. And a great conversion rate for a pre-launch campaign like this would be anywhere from 25 to 35% of people that visit the page convert onto it. And that's where you want to shoot for. And if you're seeing only a 5% conversion rate to email address on your page, I would think about either how you're marketing the page or the copy on the page itself.
Definitely, definitely. Actually, those numbers were posted in the blog post that's up on the Kickoff Labs blog. So I wasn't sharing them, but I'm glad that you went ahead and shared those with our audience, Josh. And actually, it was a great segue for how do you actually find your audience, and how do you ask them those questions? How do you ask for feedback? So first off, I mean, you're gonna have to find your niche. You're gonna have to find your market, find your targets. You obviously know what kind of project you're creating. You obviously have interests, which is why you're looking to create a project based on makers, or based on some kind of new project, new technology, all kinds of cool stuff. But whatever you're doing, we can actually guarantee, anyone can actually guarantee that there is an audience out there that is interested in what you are doing. Okay, so you have to actually go out there and find them. You might even already be involved in some forums or in some message groups that are already talking about those topics. So it's the perfect place to bring up your new upcoming Kickstarter campaign. And it's basically the same as getting people to interact with you in any way online. I mean, you need to find them. You need to interact with people. Unless you're some kind of internet celebrity, don't expect people to flock to your offering. It's just not going to happen.
And even if you are an internet celebrity, you'll often hear stories from them. They may start out with 10,000 people that they know, but if they're not the right 10,000 people for their niche, they're not going to get the conversion rate they need to fund their campaign.
That's a great point, Josh. That's a great point. I mean, where quality of your audience has a lot to do with how many people are going to actually convert on your crowdfunding campaign. I was actually going to mention just a couple strategies for finding people and talking to people. I was going to say that it's totally okay to use like at Twitter name tweets. Let's say there's some blogger that you want to get in contact with, or somebody that's influential in that niche that you'd like to send a message to. I think it's okay to use Twitter. Twitter is kind of more like an open platform, but don't ask for, don't ask people to share. Don't don't be spammy. I mean, that's pretty much the way. Ask questions, ask for feedback. Don't be spammy. Non-spammy, always, always, always. You don't want to be spammy, and you don't want to be you don't want to sound desperate. In my opinion, that's something that's gonna hurt your brand's confidence, and it's gonna hurt your campaign. Another strategy would be doing some investigation on LinkedIn. You, if your focus is a little bit more towards like the B2B space, LinkedIn might be a great place for finding influential people, even if it's for consumers. I mean, there's some influential people that write blog posts that are read by tons of consumers that can be found on LinkedIn. You can find you can try and find them on there, connect with them there. You can also try some other tools to try to guess their email address. Like for us at Kickoff Labs, like let's say I wanted to get a hold of Josh. I mean, it's pretty darn easy. I just kind of guess the name, okay, Josh at kickofflabs.com, boom, and I can send an email and try to get in touch with that person. Those are some of my strategies for getting in touch with people. That's some of the stuff that I do behind the scenes when I'm marketing. I never send emails to their personal address. That's a last resort, just so just to note. So that's for finding people and talking to people. Once you do find those people, you want to ask them questions. Okay, you want to ask them questions about your campaign, about your offering, and ask them for honest feedback. Okay, you're not going to be showing up on message boards and and be saying, hey, can you please check out my campaign? Can you please help support? Can you please back my campaign? That sounds, like I said, that sounds desperate. That's not confident. That's not asking questions. That's not asking for quality feedback. And that's what you really want at this time. Precious feedback. That's what you really want. It's something that we thrive on here at Kickoff Labs. Josh, you're going to add something?
Yeah, I was going to say that this is the time. So one of the biggest reasons to me why you would want to have a pre-launch page for your crowdfunding or Kickstarter campaign is because of this. Because now is the time that you can experiment with the message, you can experiment with the copy, you can experiment with the video. Because if you start doing that while you're asking for money, it's a lot more dangerous, because then you're changing what people are getting, you're changing the message, you're potentially giving people something they don't want, and some people signed up for something they weren't expecting. But at this stage, when you're just asking for an email address, this is where you can really experiment, and this is where you can really dive in and ask for feedback about, hey, what was it that made you want to give us your email address? And just following up personally with these people that sign up can be time consuming, but you'll get a ton of valuable data that you can use once you actually decide to launch and get and ask for real money.
Yep. It does take time, and it does take patience to build up a decent sized audience, which is why Josh said that we do recommend putting up that landing page at least a few months before your official crowdfunding launch. And don't get discouraged. I mean, at the very least, you'll be getting some good feedback about what you're doing, and maybe people just aren't that interested in your project, how it's presented, or there's just something that they don't like about it. Maybe it's just not useful. Um, so, with that feedback, you could go back to the back to the drawing board and tweak the project a bit. Because like if you know if the campaign was already live, you'd be in for a major disappointment. You'd have days that were wasted. Usually a campaign is like 30 days. You know, one day wasted is a ton of time. So you don't want to waste any time when the campaign is officially launched. And like I said, there's no point in launching something no one wants. So you want that feedback. You want to start testing your message. You want to start testing and perfecting your message. Another recommendation for me, actually from me, was to create or back a movement. So what I mean by that is like look at what some of the crowdfunding campaigns are doing now, and and you'll see that a lot of them might have some kind of like social initiative, or it might have some kind of like comedy initiative behind it. Just all kind of there's always something that stands out from the top performing campaigns. Um, Other than when it's just like some really cool project or some really cool product. If it's a really cool product, it'll stand on its own and it'll get backed on its own. But a lot of times I see that there's some kind of movement um, behind the actual campaign, and that really helps to give the overall campaign a strong push. Um, for me as a potential backer, even if you do support some kind of initiative, or if you're creating some kind of movement, I still don't really care about your cause or about you yet. First I want to know the things that are important to me, because like I said, as a typical consumer, I'm pretty selfish. That's how all consumers behave. The first thing that I want to know is what you're offering. And if that's something that you're offering, if it's interesting to me, okay, then I want to know how you're offering it. Oh, okay, so it's on Kickstarter. Cool. Okay, so it's going to be on a crowdfunding campaign, and there's going to be perks. I could get this, I could get that. That's awesome. Okay, awesome. Okay, then who created it? Oh, and it's created by this team, and they're backing this movement. They're doing this. So my point is, you might want to try to create a backstory. Create some kind of backstory, a movement, an initiative, something that'll give you that strong push. Josh, you want to add something before I move on?
No, I mean the creating a movement thing is a powerful tool to get people mentally bought into what you're doing. I talked to somebody who was launching a campaign for essentially recyclable sporks, and it's a great idea for a product. But the thing that really needed to come through to help pull and differentiate his product was the story of why he was doing it, because he wanted to create less trash and create a more sustainable environment, because that helps niche down what can be a very general product in this utensil, niche it down to a segment that's small enough to address personally. So part of the reason to create this backstory is that it helps you narrow down your audience, and that's a good thing, because you think, oh, I want this huge audience, and my product is great for everybody. But the reality is it's impossible to market for everybody. So even if your product could be great for everybody, you have to start somewhere so that you can get a strong message across. And then you can always expand later on and say, I started here, and now I'm over here with this bigger announcement, but it started with this movement in this space to this one particular customer.
I love that, and actually, I think I know which customer you're talking about, and I really like their sporks. Okay, so moving along, you want to start priming your audience for perks. So crowdfunding campaigns obviously always are offering some kind of perks. You most likely have tiered perks where if someone donates, well, not donates, if someone gives you $1, they'll get maybe a thank you email sent to them. If they send you $10, um, they'll get so and so sent to them. Basically, you know what I mean when I'm talking about perks. You've seen them in the crowdfunding campaigns. But how would perks work for before the actual crowdfunding campaign? Backers have come to they've come to expect something in return. So you're gonna have to give them something for free in return, just for signing up to your launch list. Okay, and it's no problem. I mean, if you don't have any perks yet, if they're still in the works, no problem. I mean, you can still offer something. I'm going to be going through some of the valuable things that potential backers. I'm sorry, I'm just adjusting here. That potential backers would appreciate getting for early signups. Okay, so we're looking at early access, which is a super easy incentive to to offer, and it works well for just about any type of launch page, not just crowdfunding campaigns. People like being in the know, so give them the option to feel they've reserved their place in line. Uh, they're already in line to be part of your club, even if it's just a bluff. Even if it's even if early access, to the first 1,000 people is not true, you're actually going to be offering early access to everybody who signs up. It's okay. I mean, you can still put it on the page. No one knows the better. Um, but early access is a really strong incentive for getting people to sign up, and in our opinion, it's the easiest incentive. A better incentive would be to offer instant gratification. And what I mean by instant gratification, we mean something that they can download or something that they can immediately use. It might be a part of your software if you're releasing software. Usually for crowdfunding campaigns is not really software. So what we recommend you offer is package up a PDF, an ebook, something that's somewhat related to your offering. You're not making a sales brochure. Obviously, you're not creating some kind of sales brochure. You want to offer valuable information, something that that solves a problem for for your potential backers. And when I say solves a problem, it doesn't really mean um, that it has to be some kind of complicated problem. Problems can be even if I'm bored. I mean, boredom is a problem. Um, let's say I want to get rid of boredom. Okay, so the solution to that would be a mobile game. The solution to boredom would be some kind of new gadget that I could play with. So that's the way you should kind of think about your project, about your product, as a solution to to the problem of either boredom, to the problem of business. It could be related to just about anything. So you're trying to solve their problem with free information. That's what the instant gratification is. Something that's free, immediate, and they could get right away. And make sure that it's something that they want as well. Like I said, make sure that it's related with your project, related to your product, but it's also something that's irresistible to your potential backers. If it's something that's closely related to your product, it can be, well, I'm not getting too many ideas, but just make sure that it's very, very extremely irresistible to your audience, and that it relates to your campaign. Lastly, that it relates to your campaign. Obviously, you're not going to be putting in all this work to sell them something that's not going to be related to your crowdfunding campaign later. All of this early access, instant gratification, something that they want. It all needs to relate to the action of actually purchasing something. So not that it only relates to your project, but that it relates to the action of taking out their wallet and backing your project, funding your project later on. Josh, anything you'd like to add before I move on here?
No, I think we said it. You kind of covered it.
And I hope everybody gets the image of the pinata. Hopefully, it's not too strange. Growth hack the pre-funding. Oh, how we love growth hacking. There's so many strategies, so many customers to be won over, and there's so many ways to do it. And this is how you do it for the pre-funding. The goal is to get as many signups as you can. So you want to turn your campaign, your pre-funding campaign, into a viral machine. You want to, into a well-tuned viral machine, and that's building a landing page. If you can have several landing pages, that's even better. You can, you could be targeting people with pay-per-click ads, with Google ads, Facebook ads, and send them to different landing pages. They'll have different messages. Maybe they have different welcome messages. There's just a ton of stuff that you could be doing. Find ways to trigger growth. That's basically the way to do it. You need to find ways that'll incite user growth, that'll incite people to sign up like never before. You need to treat it like a business, because it is, after all. If all goes well, you'll have real customers that you'll need to take good care of for the long term, and that's why I said in what was it? Engage and measure project interest. I'm sorry, it was in rally and pre-funding. You're following that. You want to think in long term. So these customers are going to be buying something from you. So always think long term. Even if it's a crowdfunding campaign, a lot of people think that it's like easy, quick money. It's not. It's starting a business, and it's thinking long term. Reward for sharing. This is an extremely powerful growth hack that is basically offering a special prize to the person or people with the most shares. It's relatively easy to do. If you're doing it on your own with your own landing pages, you're gonna have a hard time. You can do it by counting them, and like counting people to by who sent who, but it's going to get really hard. Luckily, Kickoff Labs offers another tool. We have a viral referral engine, which generates unique referral links for all of your signups, so you can easily track who is sharing, with who are they sharing, and how many people they've gotten to sign up, and all that information appears in your dashboard. It's all easily sortable, and you can identify and you can reward your influencers. So that's the point here. You want to reward your influencers for sharing. Make sure they feel appreciated, and make sure that people are competing for those best rewards. And when I talk about competing as well, contests are a great way to bring in that gaming element into crowdfunding campaigns. And they've um, it's a strong incentive for people to sign up before the campaign as well, because because it's something that that people wanna access. I'm sorry, I think we got a slight error here. You should be seeing my screen again. I'm sorry, you might have had some problems seeing my screen. Okay, so that was contests. Hopefully we're still running. Okay, so I'm seeing that people were having some problems with the broadcast, and now they do see it now. Perfect. Sorry about that. We might have had some problems with Google Hangouts, but hopefully everything is running smoothly, and I'll keep advancing. Josh, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you great now.
Okay. Yeah, I think we had a little drop off in the broadcast, but things should be okay. Are you seeing my screen as well?
Absolutely.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you for that. Perfect. Okay, so that's the power of contests. Contests are easy to run because you basically offer your crowdfunding product as the prize. The ever important follow-up email. For us, email is extremely important. Actually, in one of our past blog posts about the 5 latest trends in online marketing, we reveal that email gives you an ROI of $40 for every dollar spent, and that's the highest form out of any online communication, way above Facebook, way above Twitter, way above just about any other kind of online communication. Email is the way to go. So that's why your follow-up email is so important. You need to include a great thank you, uh, a heartfelt thank you, an honest thank you, in my opinion. Um, Kickoff Labs grants you with a generic thank you, which works well, but obviously personalizing the thank you to match your brand and to match your brand's messaging is going to be much better. So personalize your thank you message and always ask for the share. I'm sorry, Josh, you want to add in
I say
something?
certainly you should personalize the automated message that goes out for your campaign when somebody successfully shares
Mm-hmm.
the link back to your crowdfunding campaign. But I would honestly look at the reports on a regular basis and say, wow, somebody's hit 10, 3, pick a number that makes sense depending upon the volume that you have, and I would personally email them for sharing and ask them, what you could do for them, and get personally engaged. It's a little bit of work, but that bit of sweat equity goes a long way towards securing somebody who's going to get you 10, 20, 30 more customers down the road.
That's very true. Identifying, just either influential or random people and communicating with them directly via email, not via any kind of MailChimp, not a newsletter. This is just direct one-to-one email. That's going to have a great personal personal excuse me, personal effect. And like I said, you're going to want to ask for the share again and again and again. It's okay. In every email that you send, ask for the share. Just constantly ask for the share. There's not a problem. Obviously, there's a way to over ask. Just like I said, never spammy. Just always ask for the email. Always include share buttons if it's possible in your emails. The super incentive. This to us is one of our favorite growth hacks because it's actually the combination of early access, which we saw a little bit earlier, also rewarding for sharing, and the follow-up email. So it's like a combination of um, of these really cool strategies. Uh, Although the best strategy, like I said, is to offer early access and an instant download to everyone that signs up, and creating like tiered rewards for people who share and get their friends to sign up. So we have some examples of a great tiered referral page in our latest blog post. You should really check it out on kickofflabs.com/blog. Um, the post is October and November metrics. At the very last page, which is one of our favorite pages, has a has it, it's highlighting what we could have done before, but it took a little bit more work with the API with our API. But now now we're bringing those functions forward, and they're a lot easier to access. So some really cool stuff that you can do to get a super duper incentive, in my opinion, on your page and getting people sign up. That'll really maximize your conversion rate. So by now, you should have already gotten a good number of signups. Like Josh said, you might want to crunch the numbers a bit and calculate roughly how many subscribers you're going to need to hit your funding goal. But once you do that, once you have your ideal number of subscribers, you're going to want to launch with momentum. You want to hit those crowdfunding campaigns hard. After all, crowdfunding is a betting game, so it's best to have as many people behind you as possible. I mean, because you really want to nail that trick shot when launching the official Kickstarter or other crowdfunding platform campaign. For that, you're going to want to keep your audience up to date. You're going to want to send them updates. Be consistent in sending out updates to your audience via email. Social works, Facebook, Twitter, Google Plus. They work, but email is better. Just keep them up to date. Don't send them too much information about you. There's something that I call the wee syndrome, which is when you use too much. We've been doing this and we've been doing that and we're about to do this. It's nice and it's fun to talk about your company, but people kind of don't care. But obviously, since the crowdfunding campaign is about you, there are ways that you can implement your subscribers in your messages, like okay, so you're about to receive this. You should be seeing this in the next coming weeks. I just flipped it around. Basically, I was saying like, okay, so we're planning on releasing this feature, or we're planning on releasing this perk coming up. Just switch it around. Say you're about to get this perk in the next few weeks. You're about to get access to our crowdfunding campaign. Stay away from the word we. Keep your emails and posts short and thoughtful. Just avoid sending, like I said, avoid sending too much or a little too much information, and just be nice, be honest. You could still be asking for feedback at this point. It's still early in the campaign because you still haven't officially. Well, I mean, if you've launched, but it's still early in the campaign. The first few days are vital, but it's still early, and you still really need to, you need to make that push to get as many people to the page as possible. Because ultimately, what you want to do, you want to make a gigantic splash on the platform. You want the editors of Kickstarter or whatever crowdfunding platform you're using. You want them to take notice. You want people to notice what's going on with your campaign. You want to garner attention, even if it's people that you haven't marketed to in any way, shape, or form, that haven't signed up on your page. You want to you want your message to get spread out to them uh, some way, and usually this happens by getting as many people to the page as possible. Like I said, um, Kickstarter editors will notice, and guess what? They'll feature your page. In many cases, this really helps to give your campaign that extra push, especially when being featured on the homepage of these sites, and not even always the homepage. Sometimes it's like the featured page, but it's a special page where they put some of their favorite campaigns. You're gonna get seen by a lot of eyes. So, like I said, you want to get well, you want to launch with as much momentum as possible. Timing is essential. Doing that, hopefully you will get featured. Hopefully you will uh, get tons of people to the page, and you will get tons of people backing your campaign. And before the campaign is over, don't think it's over. What I mean is, you want to rinse and repeat. You want to actually go back through the previous steps and find more people, get more people through your crowdfunding funnel, and eventually getting them to your page. Uh, don't think it's all easy sailing from the moment you launch. There's still a well-known crowdfunding slump that you want to avoid. So just go through the same steps in the exact same order. Find more people, talk to them, convince by offering some cool rewards. Growth hack your newly gained audience to milk out more followers from them, and do it again. Rinse and repeat. That's my advice for garnering a huge audience before you launch the official crowdfunding campaign. Josh, I don't know if you have any final notes before I go ahead and close it out.
Yeah, I thought it'd be useful if you want to. You should go ahead and share the blog post that you wrote
Perfect.
that we posted the link for, just to tie it together, because I think that you posted some great examples in there of a pre-launch page, a pre-launch contest page, then followed by the Kickstarter page that can really tie it together and kind of show what you were talking about throughout this.
Perfect. Well, I'll go ahead and show you guys the post while I'm at it, and hopefully the scrolling doesn't mess up my.
Yeah, as long as you pause an example long enough, you can read the image.
Yeah,
It's mostly the images for the pre-launch campaigns I wanted to show people that you had in there.
exactly. Well, right now we're looking at a great pre-launch page by MakerMex, and actually I wanted to go ahead and comment because we received a question last week when this article was released about companies that are looking to launch a crowdfunding campaign, but they're obviously too busy working on the project, and they need someone to help market their campaign. And we have a customer who we really like working with. I'll go ahead and share those details with you guys in the um, in the recap as well as in the chat. But but there are companies that offer crowdfunding, pre-funding campaign marketing services. So they'll help you do all this stuff that we were talking about. They'll help you find a nice audience before you launch. Obviously, they'll take a percentage. It's not as easy as watching cool Kickoff Labs webinar and like subscribing for like a 6-month plan with us or something like that. But it might be worth it to some of you guys. But right now, we're looking at one of the pages that actually is being marketed by that service provider. So it's a great looking page. It actually kind of matches like the Kickstarter gray and the Kickstarter green. If someone mimics the Kickstarter page, beautiful page. Some nice screenshots here. And we'll go ahead and look at the official Kickstarter campaign. Oh, what's this? Yes, they reached their goal. Which is something that I wanted to mention, which is why I was actually inspired to do this webinar and to write the actual post, because we've seen so many people, well, so many of our own customers succeeding on these platforms just by taking these steps that we were talking about. And you'll see that just about, I'm going to say 99% of the customers that I've seen doing crowdfunding, of our customers doing crowdfunding campaigns have successfully backed projects. This is another page that I also really like. It once again mimics the Kickstarter look. It says Kickstarter. It even kind of like makes you think that you landed on Kickstarter once you're on the page. But once you scroll down a little bit, you'll notice that the information is all about a new kind of a Bitcoin wallet, like a Bitcoin piggy bank. Pretty cool. But what we really liked about the page is they were actually using the page to ask the question, which reward level are you most likely to support? And this is really going to help them optimize their crowdfunding campaign, because if everyone that came to the page said that they would only contribute a certain amount, let's say $1 or $5, they know that that they would either need to adjust the reward levels or the actual rewards themselves. So it's a great way to start testing some of your levels here. We earlier mentioned that it might be best to start grabbing only email address, which it might work like this as well. You never know. It's always best to test it. With Kickoff Labs, we'll make it easy. You could just create one campaign, and within the same campaign, you can create an unlimited amount of landing pages. So you can go ahead and start testing those. Here we're looking at another crowdfunding. This is something that was coming to Kickstarter. Actually, this is like a little lens here, but another nice looking page. You can actually go ahead and check out the actual page. I really like this page, how it's including an incentive. You can see here, this is the actual incentive here. To sign up is you receive an ebook, and the ebook is chock full of these famous chefs using this product, which actually was also funded successfully. So see how they tie in their product with not a sales brochure, but a cookbook with some famous chefs using it, and it just makes people wanna use it more.
Hi, hey, Izzy, I want to jump in. There's a couple questions have been posted, so I wanted to get to some of those questions in the chat.
I haven't looked at the questions. Thanks.
So I just noticed them too. They came in a couple minutes ago. So somebody asked, is there a time of year that's better in terms of raising or launching a campaign? I mean, it depends.
On what you're offering.
It depends on what you're offering. I certainly would, if you're in the U.S., I'd avoid April 15th, right around tax day, for trying to ask people for money. You might want to avoid going around the holidays unless you're launching something that's holiday specific.
That's like gift worthy, right?
Yeah, that's unless it's like it's gift worthy or something that you'd have a reward in time for the gifts. In which case, you're probably asking for money well ahead of the holidays in advance. And then, so yeah, I don't have any data that supports the best time. I'm just kind of giving you sort of educated guesses based on sort of where we see, just in terms of the email signups for campaigns, and where we see those going up or down for products that have a price behind them. And then, what if you have no budget and very few closed people for your starting to market? If you have no budget, my assumption is that your budget is your time, and that's why I think that the pre-launch page is very important, because then what you should do is use it to really gather that close group of people. What you really need to do is find the communities online of people that are looking for a similar product or related products or discussing related products. So if you were developing, for example, and let's just use the example of what we saw, like an iPhone lens case. There's a lot of communities online, if you search for iPhone photography, of people that specialize in just iPhone photography, not professional photographers, but taking great pictures with an iPhone. And those types of communities would be the perfect place for that campaign to have gone and posted and said, hey, can I get your feedback? I want to get you looking at our product and giving us feedback on what you want, and getting those links out there, talking to the community owner, doing that link building and posting in those communities, not just posting to spam the communities, but getting engaged and saying, hey, I've tried out this product because we're making something similar, and here's my thoughts on that product that already exists. Giving your 2 cents is an invaluable way to build a great reputation, and with that great reputation, whenever you post, you'll see click-throughs on your link to get answers. And so, with no money and no people to start, I would start with those niche communities.
And start basically creating content, or like writing responses, writing comments on their posts, writing feedback and stuff like that. That's where you're going to get feedback on your campaigns.
And then another question, what services do you offer in terms of creating a great landing page for pre-launch email gathering? Obviously, our service can be a DIY landing page term, so you can create the landing pages as you go. But the other thing we do for people is we offer the service to build landing pages for you. So if you want a customized page, we can hook that up for you. We've done pages anywhere from $100 to $2,000, depending upon the needs of the page and the needs of the product and the needs of the template. But we can certainly discuss that offline if you want to email josh@kickofflabs.com or support@kickofflabs.com. It's something we do fairly common. Our goal is really to let you choose between DIY or just done, and we can do the just done part for you in terms of building this page. Izzy, do you have anything else that made it through our questions?
Alrighty, great. So just to finish off the webinar here, I want to thank everybody for hanging out with us during this time. If you have any further questions, you can go ahead and always send us an email at support@kickofflabs.com, or you can reach Josh directly, josh@kickofflabs.com, or reach me directly, Izzy, IZZY, @kickofflabs.com, and we're more than happy to help answer any kind of marketing questions, any kind of crowdfunding campaign questions. We're here to help. We care about your guys' success, and we want to see more of our customers successfully funding their goals, because it makes us really, really happy to see customers exceed their goals, actually. And also, lastly, if you're not yet a Kickoff Labs customer, I really, really highly recommend you sign up for your free account. You can actually grab a risk-free 30-day trial at kickofflabs.com, and you'll get full access to our site. You'll get full access to the platform. You can build as many campaigns and landing pages and opt-in forms as you like. An extremely virally efficient platform that's highly recommended for your landing pages, launch, and marketing campaigns. Once again, I'm Izzy, marketing here at Kickoff Labs, and extremely glad that you guys joined us. Josh, any last words?
Nope. Go ahead and sign up and try out Kickoff Labs. Let us know what you think, and we can help. We can help you give more personal advice to your page once you're working with us. So, love to see you on board and getting the funding that you needed by first starting and building your audience with us. So, that's all for today's chat. We'll be back next week on Thursday. Our chat next week is going to talk about the things you can do specifically to make your pages more viral. and to increase the sharing that you see on your pages.
It's going to be awesome.
It's going to be an awesome webinar, and it's applicable to this audience as well. If you're doing a Kickstarter campaign and you're thinking about how techniques to increase virality, so join us next Thursday for that. And thank you for attending. Have a great day.
Thank you for attending.